Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate an angle to the race that we might look back on later as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, Friday racing for the public holiday in Hong Kong this week, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 3, where our winning factor is the weights. Now this is a smart Class 2 field over 1800 metres, and I can see certainly some strong form arguments for a number of the runners. The Money Catcher is yet to win in Hong Kong, but he's been very consistent. Beluga, who looked unlucky last time, Celestial Power, Running Glory and Bourbon Air all will have their fans, and so will the bottom weight, Sight Spirit, coming up from a slightly unlucky run in Class 3. And it's the last start, a little bit unlucky runners that I want to focus on here. That's Sight Spirit and Beluga. First of all, we're going to take a look at the run of Sight Spirit, who hadn't had a race for around 4 months before this last start effort. And this is race number 729 of the season. He's in brown and white colours, gate 1, and shows good speed out of the gates to soon get into the box seat behind the leaders. Now I want you to take note of the very slow race speed. In fact, the first 1200 metres here far slower than average. And as you can see on the heat map, the leaders sprinted hard the last 400 metres, and I can tell you they ran home more than 6 lengths faster than average. And with 133 pounds on board, Sight Spirit isn't able to quicken as well as a couple of the lightweights, and one of them, he's giving 18 pounds to Super Oasis, proves too much. So not entirely run to suit there, and the weights against him. Sight Spirit could be considered unlucky in that race, but I'm sure that most people would have considered Beluga a few days later to be even more unlucky. Now this is race 733 at Happy Valley, and once again gate 1, this time Beluga in pink colours jumps well before taking a trailing position as Soulmate and Money Catcher go ahead of him, and also in this race Tianchi Monster in the green, who is also in Friday's race. Now this race is dictated by Soulmate, and once again we had a slow lead pace before the leader turned up the heat from the 800 metres. Beluga still travelling well in the box seat, but it's a position from which he never emerges, as he has traffic problems in the home straight, and Zach Purton is never able to release him from his cage. Well, a good performance without much reward there from Beluga. Possibly should have won the race. And now we take a look at the map for Friday's race and have a look where the advantages tactically might be in that. Now we've seen the good tactical speed Sight Spirit has shown in shorter races. He moves up to 1800 metres now, so that's going to be a serious weapon at this longer distance in what looks a moderately run race. Although he's drawn wide, he's got Money Catcher inside him, and I would expect Joe Moreira on Sight Spirit will ride his race off that horse, letting Money Catcher take him forward and then sitting outside the leader. With the body of the field preferring to get back and run on, Zach Purton once again looks like getting that box seat again on Beluga. That was no help to him last time. He has the tactical tools to do it, but the way this sets up, Sight Spirit getting a lot of weight off him is probably going to have first run on him in the straight, even if Beluga doesn't have traffic problems. So the tip in race 3, Sight Spirit. His winning factor, the weights. Now I haven't made a lot of that factor in my commentary on this, but we have 2 unlucky horses at last start. One, Beluga, goes up in the weights, while Sight Spirit goes down in the weights and is getting 10 pounds off his major rival here, and I think that's going to be key at the finish. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here, the winner up in class. And there would normally be pretty good arguments in a Class 3 over 1600 metres for horses like Mr. Ascendancy, looking cool and nearly fine. All horses going quite well, but I have no doubt that discussions here will be all around the John Size trained Tuchel. After taking a couple of runs to get going, a switch of venue to Sha Tin, a little rise in distance, and Tuchel has won brilliantly at his last 2 starts in Class 4, and we're going to take a look at the most recent of them. This is race 758. He's in light blue and white colours and jumps well here from near the inside. and Zach Purton just parks him back off a speed which is quite solid through the second section, as there is a bit of competition in front, and that pace softens up anything ahead of him or around him, and Tuchel really gets a perfect trip awaiting his call to go. In the home straight, Purton angles him clear, puts a couple of whip strikes on his behind to make sure that this young inexperienced horse knows it's time to go with the big weight that he carried here, and Tuchel comes clear to win with some comfort. So on Friday, Tuchel tackles 1600 metres for the first time and rises in grade, so a couple of little barriers to break through there, but I think we'll all consider he's the horse to beat. So rather than argue around whether he's the right horse, I thought we'd take a look at whether he's the right bet at the short odds that he's going to be. And to help with that, I've had a look at horses rising in grade as favourite over the last 10 years. And you can see on this graphic, this is the top 10 trainers over the last 10 years with horses rising in class and being sent out as the favourite. And we see a strike rate across most trainers of between 40 and 51%. David Hayes a bit higher than that, but off a very small sample since his return to Hong Kong. We also often warn that John Size runners carry so much expectation they are often not valued. But in the right-hand column, you can see we have all black numbers there, which means that all these trainers perform with these horses ahead of the market expectations. Obviously, the other ingredient for any race is how it sets up, how it will be run, and I think that sets up pretty well this time for Tuchel. When we look on the map, it couldn't really look much better. Now, we saw a certain amount of tactical pace from him in that 1400 metre replay in a truly run race. And I think with massive action and super winner engaged here as obvious leaders, we should get a similarly worthwhile tempo. And from the inside gate, it's hard to think that Tuchel won't have a position handy behind that pair. And again, poised to let down in the home straight, this time without the top weight that he had to carry last time. So the tip in race 9, Tuchel. His winning factor, the winner up in class. Now, there's nothing clever about that tip. I think we all expect that he's going to be a hot favourite for this race. But my examination here is more around whether we should oppose that hot favourite or go with him. And the market expectations are generally met by these horses going up in class as favourite, and that makes Tuchel a bet on Friday. Well, that's it from the winning factor. Good luck on the public holiday meeting. We'll see you next time.